got him. Oh, no, come on around the corner. Shoot. Oh, crap. Ugh. That right there is where I would have just sent this controller straight through my TV. Not me specifically, but plenty of people go through this sort of aggravated emotion by playing video games nationwide or even internationally. It's been proven that video games can cause negative nature, whether that be through violence, physical health issues, or through social awareness or mental health issues. My name is Sebastian, and I'm here today to explain to you the negative impacts of playing too much video games and what we can do as individuals to go ahead and fix these. Now, I'm an avid gamer. I play video games. Everyone has played video games. You have on your phone, computer, laptop, on your console, on your game consoles. It doesn't matter. It's all video games, and that is the point I want to make across, that we need to game less. Not end it altogether, but in moderation. Everything is good in moderation, and this is no exception. Now, first off, let's talk about the violence, what it is and what we can do to fix the issue of violence associated with video games. Now, I wanted to start off by saying video games, contrary to popular belief, violent video games impact people in middle school, high school, and college before anything else. They have the greatest impact on the aggravated behavior, and that is typically believed because of going to school while doing it. The stresses of school and using this to escape can be an easy outlet that people go to. Now, people usually think that it impacts the younger kids, such as anyone from 5 to 12 years old, but it actually doesn't impact them nearly as bad as what it does for the middle schoolers and high schoolers. Now, I wanted to talk about the experiment done by Bushman, which he wrote about on August 11th, 2010. In his experiment, he took 40 people and he had 20 of them play non-violent video games for 20 minutes and 20 of them play violent video games for 20 minutes. And he separated them by a simple flip of the coin, randomness. And of those 20 people on each side, he took 10 people and 10 people, half of each group, and he told them then to think about it, talk about what they did for the next 24 hours. They then all came back 24 hours later, and they were told to play this competitive game. Now, this competitive game, it doesn't matter about the game, but the winner and the loser essentially had different jobs. So the winner of the game, they were given the option to give the loser a pair of headphones, and it would play a horrible noise for them to hear as a sort of punishment to it. Otherwise, they were given no punishment at all, and the winners were given no prize. The only winner's prize would be to give them that loud noise. Well, it turns out people who played violent video games and were told to think about it or talk about it over the course of those 24 hours were much more likely and actually did prove to use those headphones on the loser before anyone else. Now, essentially, this is a sped up version of what happens long periods over time. As we play long periods of video games and over time, years and years, it shows that, well, we talk about it, we think about it, it's a hobby that we go through, or in some people, a lifestyle. And this experiment was essentially a sped up way for them to get these results. Then I wanted to talk about, well, how does violent movies differ from violent video games? And the answer is simple. You play violent video games. You don't play violent movies. You are the ones committing the actions. You're the ones shooting. You're the ones killing, doing whatever it may be that these violent video games are. In violent movies, you're observing. You're just watching. You're enjoying in your leisure time, like you would with video games, but you are not the ones committing these actions. Next, I wanted to talk about the physical health issues that go along with playing video games in general. So, from Kennard on July 31st, 2018, from Health Central, he talks about the physical pains that go along with long-term and extensive video game playing. Now, here's one that you don't quite think about. Here's a controller in your hand, okay? Controller, it fits much easier in your hand as your wrists are meant to go straight up and down like this. as opposed to a laptop and keyboard and mouse where your hands are like this. Your hands want to go up. So this proves that when you play video games on a computer of some sort with a keyboard and mouse, this position right here is not okay for your hands to be in over extensive periods of time. This creates for major wrist pains and can cause major health issues in the long-term run. Then he also talks about how playing video games, obviously you're most of the time just hunched over playing video games. This causes pains in the neck and as well in the back. And obviously this is not good either. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the obesity and what goes along with that. When you're playing video games, odds are you're having a snack. You're eating junk food, you're eating bad food, anything not healthy. This shows that a trend in people who play video games quite frequently tend to be a little bit larger because they eat so much. Now, this is a simple solution, okay? All you have to do is limit your amount of gameplay and exercise more. Like I said in the beginning, everything is good in moderation, and that's the point I want to get across, that we need to game less and we need to do other things more to take that place. Gaming is not bad, essentially. It just has to be limited a little bit better. Next, let's talk about how your eyesight is also taken at a cost too in playing video games. Just like how looking at your phone is bad, looking at a screen, any sort of screen, is not good for your eyes either, especially with the blue light rays. That is what impacts your eyes most, and that is why more people need glasses now more than at any other period of time. Now, video games does not only impact your physical health, but it also affects your mental health and your social well-being. So finally, let's go ahead and talk about the gaming disorder. And this was first introduced to me through James on May 24th, 2018, and on his article on video games are very bad for you. He talks about how gaming disorder is when people game essentially too much. It's almost an addiction, and people use it as an outlet, or they develop sort of mental health issues because of this. Now, these mental health issues could be anxiety, depression, anything to impact their social well-being. And this was then, the solution was then drawn to me through Twiggy on June 18th, 2018 through ABC, where she tells us that the solution is very simple as well to this. People who believe that they have a gaming addiction, all they have to do is, well, play less video games and find other substitutes to their hobbies. They have to do other things to with their time in order to get that well-being drawn out of them. Now, I've covered a lot of topics today. I've covered violence, I've covered the physical health issues, and I've covered the social issues and mental issues as well. There's a lot that goes into video games, but there are things little by little that we can do to fix these issues. Violent video games, let's go ahead and limit how much we play on an everyday basis. They say limit it to 2 hours a day, says the World Health Organization. Video games played, while the average gamer games for well over 3-4 hours every single day. Again, the solution is very simple. Let's go ahead and play less video games. Let's get this message across. And if we see any social well-being issues, let's go ahead and fix those, okay? We're here to develop a better society, not create a worse one. Thank you very much for listening.